This is our family, and this is our van life adventure. If you'd like to follow on with all of our adventures, don't forget to like and hit that follow button. We are a family of 4 who have spent the last year and a half living in our Ford Winnebago RV. Our most recent adventure has brought us to beautiful Wales. So far, we've had an absolutely amazing time exploring this stunning country. Wales in the summertime is just beautiful. But Wales is still Britain, and therefore the rain's here. So far we have had a lovely, 2 weeks in Wales? 2 weeks in Wales. Overall we've been away for nearly 3 weeks. We have been so lucky so far with the weather that we've had. It's been so much better than we expected. But today we seem to have lost it, and unfortunately we've lost it at a point when we're about to go to something quite special that I really thought we were gonna have. I really hoped we were gonna have good weather for. But never mind, you can't get it all your own way. So last night we had a very peaceful night's sleep in a surprisingly picturesque lay-by, which sounds very unglamorous, but it has left us in the perfect location for where we are heading off to today. This may be our most expensive campsite we have ever stayed at, but it's meant to be quite a special place. At £85 per night, the campsite we are heading to is hands down the most expensive place we have ever stayed. But we think it's going to be worth it. First, we have to get there, and those little Welsh winding roads are always fun to navigate. We often get comments from people about the size of our van and how hard it must be to drive. And it was a big thing for me when planning coming to Wales. I was really anxious about how hard it would be to drive around because of how old some of the towns are and how small some of the roads are. But the thing that people need to remember is that we're often going to places that are quite popular. We're often trying to see the bigger sites in the van, and most of those sites are accessible for things like coaches, and at the very least they're accessible for fire engines. And even then, even some of the smaller roads you go down, there's usually tractors and all sorts going down them. So though people have this image that driving this van is really, really, really hard, it's really awful, it's not as bad as people think. It's really not. If you've been here yourself, you may start to recognise where we are just from this very beautiful driveway in. It may be the prettiest width restriction we've ever been through. Oh, you're skimming them on this side.
You're doing very well.
Well done. For not destroying flowers.
So that's a good width restriction.
Ollie and Leo, have you looked out the window? Okay, so before you spot a sign, I'll tell you where we are. We are actually visiting Portmeirion, a tourist town in Gwynedd, North Wales. It's a beautiful place, and in recent years they've added motorhome parking. So for our £85 we are getting a fully serviced pitched plus 2 days entrance to the town for our family of 4. Given that entrance for a family of 4 for a 1 day pass is £50, you can see why we felt £85 was worth it. So as soon as we're allowed, we get ourselves checked in and start exploring this beautiful place. It's Clash of the Titans here in Portmeirion. This is a tighter game, and more important than Switzerland versus England today. What could be more important than sibling versus sibling and father versus son? They take this seriously. So while the testosterone is flexing its muscles, I decide to explore this very beautiful village. Portmeirion was a labour of love designed and built by Sir Clough William Ellis between the years of 1925 and 1975. Now it may remind you of the little Italian town of Portofino, But Sir William Ellis denied the connection and instead linked its inspiration to the Mediterranean generally. And yes, you may be looking at this and thinking, I've seen that somewhere. Well, that's because it's been used as a filming location for many films, TV shows and music videos, such as by Supergrass or maybe even Iron Maiden. It's been in Doctor Who, Cold Feet, and parents may recognise it as the home of Gigglebiz, though its most famous appearance is as the village in the spy thriller The Prisoner from the 1960s. Nowadays, though, thousands of tourists flock every year to either stay in one of the hotels or one of the many self-catering cottages, or even just visit for the day. And no, it's not just pretty to look at. There's plenty of cafes, restaurants and shops on site. I personally fell in love with the contents of this one, though not much of it is very practical for van life. But there's somewhere else that we decided to spend our cash. Ice cream, anyone? You just look like a mint chocolate time kind of kid. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, lucky Ollie. Right, now just wait. How is it? Good.
That's what caramel.
Paying for camping also means you get access to the facilities on site, including the heated outdoor pool. It's not quite warm enough for us today, so instead we decide to head into the forest and gardens for an explore.
Boy!
Come down!
Hello! Ah! Why do I try to get attracted to things? Come on, Leo, focus. Get back to the house.
I do get nervous with the boys when they're in such a beautifully manicured place, so at least the woods are a bit wild and they can burn off a little bit of steam. Now, if you thought the village was Italian-inspired, I'd believe you. But the gardens, however, seem to have gone with more of a Japanese theme. Or at least that's what they look like to me with the red and green. And they're actually a beautifully perfect place to unwind and relax after the hustle and bustle of the village. Our stay so far has been absolutely beautiful, but we are a little bit zonkered. And there's also something quite important we need to get back for. It's almost as dramatic as chess earlier. This is so intense. And that's how I wanted to end the day. So it's not just the football that I'm over the moon about. Look at the site showers. There's even clean towels provided and a hairdryer where you can adjust the time and temperature. I have never seen this on a site. So after a good night's sleep, we're ready for day 2. So it's a very wet and gloomy morning here at Portmeirion. The rain is supposed to stop tomorrow, but we do have to be off our pitch at 10 a.m. They have said we can still go back in, so that's great. And the rain is supposed to stop sort of around 10, 11. So I've had my glorious shower, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Now I have clean hair. I'm going to go back to the van, have some brekkie, and then hopefully we get a decent day 2 exploring Portmeirion. Lovely.
Let's do this. Sun's out, swimming pool looks good. Perfect timing.
For day 2, the kids had something very specific in mind, though it's still a bit cold for me.
So if we go in here and we ask to use the pool and get the towels and stuff, open it. Push. Oh, this is posh. Good swim?
Yeah, I'll go back to it.
Yeah, good swim? Lovely. Good swim? I'm freezing though. My hands are so cold. Oliver, how was the swim?
Good.
Did you have fun?
Yes, but
You're cold now, we'll get you dry. Did you have fun?
that was going to happen.
was.
But it was super cold and
It was nice.
super fun.
Lovely spot. Beautiful, beautiful.
Our time in Portmeirion is coming to an end, but we have had so much fun. And yes, £85 is a lot of money to spend on a campsite, but when it looks like this and the facilities are so amazing, it seems so worth it. But let us know in the comments, would you spend £85 on this? The kids have had an absolute blast, and hopefully they've made some memories that will last for a lifetime. And so have we. And off we go, on to the next chapter of this road trip.
Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Goodbye.